You've got some fans. I love it.
I love that too. Appreciate that.
So Tony, I'm going to start by maybe putting you on the spot here. You're coming from Leap.
Yes.
I'm sure you have some numbers for us. Tell me a little bit about the state of small business in Lansing. Are we growing? Are we slowing down? What's the last 5-year story?
Ooh, that's a great question there, Erica. So the last 5 years story has been a whirlwind, of course, as we all know, from the pandemic and beyond. But thankfully, the state of small business in the Lansing region is on the upswing. It is strong, it is positive, there are resources available, and overall, I think the morale and spirit of the entrepreneur and the small business owner is starting to see hope again. Because at one point, it was pretty bleak, to be honest. As you all might have noticed in your own personal lives, there's times where what possibilities may lie were unknown. But I think people are seeing that ray of hope, and there are a number of resources, partners in this room today that are helping that out for those entrepreneurs and small business owners.
It is tough to start a small business, and we know that within 5 years, 50% of them fail. Leap has some really awesome, some award-winning programs that help that other 50% and try to bring that number down, help them open and stay open. So you have a front row seat to kind of what works. Tell me a little bit about some of the small businesses that you've helped that you've seen thrive, and what has been the difference maker for them.
For sure. We do have award-winning programs, so thank you for bringing that up. I like to say the Lansing Economic Area Partnership and our team's work here is by far one of the best EDOs, not just in the state, but probably in the nation. We do this with intentional, focused work. We've supported programs such as One and All, which has won awards focused on equitable development and economic inclusion. We know that small business ownership solves problems for the community, and also small business ownership is a wealth-building activity. We want to make sure those benefits are being had by anybody and everybody. We're being intentional that we want every person, no matter race, creed, gender, religion, affiliation, to have access to those benefits. So when you ask the question about some of our success stories, there's so many to name, but one off the top I always like to go to is Marcus Leslie, Mr. Leslie's Cheesecakes. You have it, had it, you need to have it, it's phenomenal.
Is that here in Lansing?
It's here in Lansing. Right. They just opened a location in Holtz, but they started here in Lansing. They started at the Allen Neighborhood Center, which is a food incubator accelerator program. They did farmers markets in Okemos, which is on the east side here, township in Okemos, the city of that. And beyond just doing the one-offs, they expanded into wholesaling over a number of years. So starting at farmers markets, now he's in 18 grocery stores, and the plan to be in 34, all the West Side Myers in the state of Michigan by the end of 2026. Wow. Yeah, make some noise for Marcus.
Make your cheesecake. You're hyper-focused on equity, and one of the most important steps to solving that problem is first identifying the problem. Yeah. So what are some of the shortfalls you see when it comes to equity and business ownership in the greater Lansing area? And then I will definitely give you a chance to talk about the good stuff. So let's start with the bad stuff.
Oh, the bad stuff. The bad stuff that you see is not just alone in the Lansing community. These historic things have persisted in many communities across the nation since the inception of the country. It would be before that. So let's be honest and let's not try to rewrite history or not.
Yeah, we're not picking on Lansing.
No, right, yeah. So making sure they're clear here in that space. We did a survey with a number of our clients, and we know that these common trends are across the board of many entrepreneurs. One is navigating the ecosystem. Right? Feeling that the ecosystem, the entrepreneur ecosystem, is for me. Do I, as a person of color, feel like I have access to these resources? Do I, as a woman entrepreneur, feel like if I go in this room, will I be taken serious? Will I feel equipped in these conversations? How can we help support the individual and change perception, as well as change how those organizations are handling certain clients and small business owners? So that's one thing we found as a common thread is the perception and navigating the ecosystem. Access to capital, right? We know capital is king when it comes to small business. We are in the small business to raise money, to have a profit, get revenue. And so, but to start a business takes capital. And one of our Achilles heels for the longest period of time in the Lansing region has been not having certain investment type of capitals. But thankfully, over the last 2-3 years, and beyond, we've seen the emergence of pre-seed funding, venture capital, and angel funding that's never been in our community before that. And we really, I thank MSU Research Foundation and a few other venture groups that made this possible in our community.
And so tell me a little bit now about what LEAP is doing to bridge those gaps, to either, help people get over that self-doubt or bridge that capital gap.
For sure. So when it comes to the self-doubt, we meet people where they're at. We see the inherent value of any entrepreneur and client that walks in our doors. We make our programs accessible. I gotta say again, my team, there are a few of them right here. We have Harrison Leffel-Jones and Jasmine Anderson up front. They lead a lot of our efforts when it comes to data and programming. And we make sure that it's all through intentionality. How do we make sure our programs are accessible? So we do programs in the evening. So we know that most of our entrepreneurs are working their business during the day. Like today, it's hard to take off Friday off when you're getting prepped to open your business for lunch hour, right? So we take time in the evening. So we work late nights to make our programs accessible. We make sure our programs are being marketed to as many different demographics as possible. We're saying, hey, let's work with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Let's work with the Melanated Business Alliance. Let's make sure we promote these programs to as diverse audience as possible to make sure everybody has access and awareness to those programs. Additionally, we make sure there is a cultural competency involved when it comes to engaging the entrepreneurs of many backgrounds and understanding how can we make sure they feel and understand that this journey is for them and that they should be able to try it out to have the opportunity to get those benefits, as I mentioned earlier.
How do you do that cultural competency piece? Because this is an extremely diverse region, obviously. What are some ways in which that actually comes into practice?
For sure. We have some grounding exercises that we do when we talk about making sure seeing the person for who they are from the onset. We make sure that people see themselves within our programs through our marketing and promotional comms. And then it's really about having the conversation. We've been detailed. So when we say we have a program called Elevate for Black business entrepreneurs, a program called Ascend for Hispanic and Latina entrepreneurs. We have programs for folks at different income levels. We have programs and just overall roundtables for a variety of folks to converge and meet together. We make sure that we are mixing the pot so folks feel and see themselves, because as a humanity, we have so much more in common than we have different. And people see that through these relationships that we build.
So it's time for everyone to break out their notes app again, because I'm about to ask you for a rec. You mentioned cheesecakes. What's another favorite Lansing area small business of yours? It doesn't have to be food, even though I'm getting hungry with all these conversations.
No, so like the mayor, we serve so many clients. So we have a phenomenal. So I'll make this quick. I know I'm probably on time, but if you're on the west side, check out Walkworthy Menswear. This right here, listen, can't get beat. You can't beat it.
Speaks for itself.
Can't beat it. That's right. It speaks for itself. And phenomenal service. The mayor mentioned Summit Comics and Games. I go there every Wednesday. If you leave out of here, 2 doors to your left, ask for Tony Willis recommendations. They'll give you a pool of comics for you right then and there. Maria's Mexican Cuisine in Old Town, phenomenal. Cool tech company that we worked with for MSU is called Inspired Solutions. They have a program or an invention called the PFASigator. We know that PFAS is a pollutant and contaminant in the system. These individuals, women-led company, have solutions to help remediate and dissolve the PFAS in the community. So many great businesses all happening right here in the Lansing region.
Thank you for shouting them all out, and thank you, Tony Willis, for joining Axios.
Appreciate you. Thank you all.